one. All right, a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from here for the Hawks.
Well, the thing about hitting early threes, it spaces the floor and makes things a lot easier offensively.
And from the jump, they've also clearly been focused on running effective plays here tonight. And there's been a lot of high-quality distribution from them on the floor.
On the court for Minnesota, they've got Dillingham. McDaniels out there with Joe Ingles. Then it's...
My mind is set, my grind is set, my heart on ice cold. I'm only here to even a score. Whoa.
And so it's Davis. He'll bring the ball up for Atlanta. They're in the midst of an unbelievable streak right now. 18 straight wins. Just remarkable.
What an absolute joy to watch. This team is playing a beautiful brand of basketball right now. Everything about it. The athleticism, the basketball skill, the intelligence, the heart, the toughness, the commitment. These guys have been extraordinary.
We've got Nance. Daniels out there with Davis. Then it's Clint Capella. And it's Bogdanovich in at the 3, the small forward. So that's the lineup for Atlanta.
I think it's about that time again. You already know it's about to be the coldest summer ever, right?
Setting the floor for the Timberwolves. Joe Ingles is out there with Jaden McDaniels. Then it's Dante DiVincenzo. Then there's Dillingham. And it's Garza in at the 5, roaming the paint. Well, Clark, playing time is so difficult to come by. So what's the best way to stay ready if you're on the end of the bench?
Yeah, that's a good question, B. I never experienced that as a starter in the short career that I had in the NBA. With all the travel, I think you just got to make a commitment to get in the extra work between the few practices that you have. So it's really being self-motivated as an individual to be professional and anticipate that you're going to be ready if your number's called.
A chance sideline.
Hey guys, the monster in that last game against the Grizzlies was simply...
Need a spot.
1:11 left in the second quarter. Picked up by Okongwu. There's Davis with the 3.
.11 left to play here in the half. Okongwu was screened. And Davis wide open. He shoots.
Outside Davis. Okongwu, a screen on DiVincenzo. And
And here's Davis for 3. It's good for the 7th time this game. He's shot 7. He has made 7.
And what a huge performance for him. I mean, he drained 3 3-pointers in that first quarter, and he's got 2 more here in the second.
And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels is out there with Naz Reid. And it's Conley. Then there's Donte DiVincenzo. And it's Alexander Walker in at the small forward.
Naz Reid understands how to play physically inside, able to get a shot off despite the foul.
Both free throws good from Reid.
Boy, a really soft touch on display. It is a luxury to have a big man who can hit from the line.
Okongwu a screen. The 3 from Davis.
And Young has got the ball here for the Hawks. And this team is on absolute fire right now. They've won 18 in a row.
And it is very impressive, but it's also interesting. I mean, even sitting here at the broadcast table and the storyline this group has created has you just impressed and a little scratching your head, because we expect drama and a certain amount of unpredictability with this crew. That's not gone away, but I tell you, this team seems to be minimizing or mitigating the volatility. They seem to be a lot more solid of late.
On the court for Minnesota, Donte DiVincenzo out there with Mike Conley. Then it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Then there's Naz Reid. And it's McDaniels in at the 4 spot.
You got to appreciate the consistency. Night in and night out, he brings it.
Now here's DiVincenzo from deep. Conley drills it from deep. Conley's got 8 points.
Where was the perimeter D on that one? You have to guard against all possibilities.
And so it's Minnesota with a 6-point lead at the close of the quarter. Just pounding the painted area. That's helped them build an advantage. All right, stick around. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome in for... It's a coach's dream to see the ball whip around the floor like this. They're playing some selfless basketball. It's been a thing of beauty.
Stacking the dimes and buying buckets. And now to some other news. We've got some... That's it for us. Thanks for tuning in. Now let's send you over to Brian Anderson with a...
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been a fairly even one. Well, Clark, we hear coaches often say, trust your teammates. Why is that sometimes a challenge?
Well, you know, when you talk about passing the basketball, there's got to be a level of trust and confidence that where you pass it to is going to produce some fruit, and that it might come back to you if that's the best play. And then defensively, you can't be good defensively without communicating and trusting one another to cover for each other in the defensive scheme that you're playing.
Johnson at the 4 with Okongwu at the 5. Trae Young out there with Davis. And it's Hunter in at small forward. That's the 5 to begin the second half for Quinn Snyder. And keeping us updated from the sideline, Allie LaForce.
Hey guys, the monster in that last game against the Grizzlies delivered quite a performance. He added 55 points, and what an offensive performance overall, turning in a new season high for him in points. He was really special in that game, and they're hoping he can repeat that kind of performance tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Allie. Absolutely. He was a one-man show in that one, Grant.
See if he comes in with that same mentality tonight.
Yeah, you know, every night's different. They may try or force him to make plays with the pass instead. We'll see.
Conley passes to Reid. On the wing, Alexander Walker. Three-pointer, no good.
This has been a close game in a lot of ways, but they do have an edge on the boards.
We've seen it time and time again in games.
It's about time that I put in my time and I got myself rich and I took a couple times.
In the post, it'll be Johnson and Okongwu. Young is out there with Davis, and it's Hunter in at the small forward spot. So that's the lineup for Atlanta. And while we've got a moment, let's send it over to our terrific reporter, David Aldridge. David?
Hey, Kevin. Well, the monster in the last game against Memphis was dominant. He dropped in 55 points, and that was his season high.
On the court for Minnesota, we've got Donte DiVincenzo, Julius Randle out there with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Then there's Naz Reid, and it's Conley in at the point. Stan, you've coached so many rookies over the years. What are some key things you like to see from a player coming into the league?
Well, look, you've got to have the guy, Brian, that's ready to compete at that level and has to bring that every night. From there, it's just all about learning. There's going to be mistakes, but you want guys who can learn and improve at a consistent rate.
Is it true that defense is the fastest way into the coach's heart?
Well, it's certainly a way to gain confidence, that's for sure.
All right, let's get a report from Allie.
Hey guys, the monster in that last game against the Grizzlies was simply terrific. He added 55 points, and he was on a tear in that game, recording a season high in points. Really just a phenomenal performance from him. Here's hoping we see more of the same from him in this one, guys.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how much of that performance carries over into this one.
His goal is to provide whatever the team needs from him on that particular evening.
Well, I'm sure he's coming in with a lot of confidence after last game. He wants to have a repeat performance here tonight.
And Nickeil Alexander-Walker has built a role around defense and activity, Coach.
Yeah, Brian, he's started to understand that not everyone can be that superstar scorer, and he's carved out a role around hustle, down shots within the flow of the offense.
Now here's Alexander-Walker. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game.
You gotta love how they've been crashing the boards, fighting hard for every miss.
DiVincenzo against Davis. Okongwu, a screen on DiVincenzo. There's Davis with the three.
Push is when the shooting motion is
on the court for Minnesota, Donte DiVincenzo. He's out there with Conley. Then it's Naz Reid. Then it's Randle. And it's Alexander-Walker in at the three, the small forward. Dorsey, know the NBA is considering using technology to help officiate out of bounds and goaltending. Do you have a problem with that?
You know, Kev, at the end of the day, I think it is about getting the calls right. If there's a way to lift the load off these officials, even if it's around the margins, why not try it?
Here's DiVincenzo after the made shot from Davis. Here's Reid, puts the fadeaway right on the money. Reid's got 7 points in the game.
Well, Naz Reid doesn't operate often in the mid-range, but if you concede it,
timeout called by Quinn Snyder. He wants a minute here to get things straightened out with his team. And as we finish the third quarter, it's still close. Both teams trading baskets. It's Atlanta up 3. We've got more hoops coming your way in just a moment. And let's go back to a terrific pass that we're calling tonight our State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced the D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Well, that's what a great pass will do, right? You love the unselfish play.
And I know I speak for all of us when I say I can't wait to see what kind of finish awaits us here in the fourth quarter. Johnson is out there with Larry Nance. Then there's Hunter, and there's Davis, and it's Daniels in at the 2-guard spot. So that's the lineup for Atlanta.
Well, you love that they've been able to rely on him time and time again. You love the effort here late.
Dillingham with the bucket.
You love how each side has risen to the challenge throughout this one.
I'll tell you, we have seen great execution from both teams. Neither one giving an inch here.
Davis, the pass to Johnson. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Davison.
Yo, I said they were coming.
On the court for Minnesota, we've got Jaden McDaniels, Dillingham out there with Joe Ingles, and it's Minot in at the 4th. Davis finds Johnson. Outside for Davis. And it's Atlanta scoring again.
Very consistent tonight at the offensive end. Right there, he helps fuel the fire.
We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Oh, and he got fouled on his way up. He'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Staring at this deficit, they're trying to be more aggressive and get themselves to the line.
That's exactly when you need to be aggressive. You know that. I mean, another good job, though, of drawing contact and getting to the free throw line.
Okongwu's checked in for Atlanta. Young comes in for Daniels. That one falls, so he hits both of them. Atlanta leading by 4. Left side, Davis. Fires top of the key.
So on the floor for Minnesota, they've got Dillingham. Jaden McDaniels is out there with Joe Ingles. And it's Shannon in at the shooting guard position.
Just over a minute played here in the 4th. On the court for the Timberwolves,